Hi there, and welcome to Christmas Cheer Central by Nicole B. Stampin. Today I'm going to show you a technique. I'm going to be using this Christmas card to demonstrate this technique. And what I'm demonstrating here is how that I colored these birds with the stamping blends and 3 different ways to use stamping blends to get your colors across. Okay. First, I want to show you this bundle that I am using. I keep wanting to call it a suite. It's a bundle. It's the Winterly Treetops bundle from the new mini catalog. And you can see here we're using this bird and this branch in here. And we have matching dies with the birds and the branch as part of this bundle. Okay, first we're going to start with just some scrap white cardstock. And I'm going to use some Memento Black ink. I'm using Memento Black because I want to make sure that the ink doesn't bleed when I'm doing any of my coloring. So first I'm going to start with my birds, and I'm going to ink those up in my Memento Black. And then I'm going to stamp them down on my white cardstock. They came out nice. I'm also going to do the branch, and I'm actually want 3 branches for my card. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. All right. Get this ink out of the way because we all know the first thing we do is get into our ink. All right. To color, like I said, I'm using stamping blends. What I'm going to use is I'm going to use my Cherry Cobbler stamping blend, but I'm actually only using the light and not the dark part of our blend. I'm using the bronze and ivory pair, and I'm using a color lifter. All right, so I'm going to use these pieces. I'm going to start with my bronze. Now, each stamping blend has 2 ends to it, a brush end and then a firm tip end. Most of the time, I prefer the firm tip because it gives me more control over the coloring. Only if I'm coloring a big image do I look at using my brush end. And I'm going to just color this branch here with my bronze. And I'm going to color the whole thing in the exact same color, all the way down. I don't know about you, but I love coloring. It's so relaxing just to sit and color images. I always enjoy it. All right, so I colored the whole thing. So with stamping blends and the materials that are used inside of it, you can actually color over a similar area with the exact same marker, and it will make it darker. So I'm coloring each of the buds on this branch a second time with the exact same marker. And I don't know if you can see, but it's getting a little darker here. I actually want to go over it a third time to really kind of pronounce that darkness. So using the exact same marker, just going over it a couple of times, I am actually creating 2 different colors. There you go. So see how it's lighter on the branch and darker on the tips. So that's one technique using the stamping blends. Another technique I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to start with my Cherry Cobbler. Again, I'm using my firm tip end, and I'm going to color in a handful of berries in my Cherry Cobbler. And I'm not going to do all of them at this moment, but I want to do enough of them so you can see the technique. So I'm going to do this side of the branch. All right, got them all colored in here. All right, I'm going to set my Cherry Cobbler aside, and I'm going to come and get my color lifter. So the color lifter is really kind of cool. It's clear. It doesn't show. You can see if I color on my paper here, you can see it just displaces the white, but it really doesn't have any color. And as it dries, it even disappears further. It almost acts like bleach though, in a way. So what I'm gonna do is, if you can see on these cherries, or these berries, there's little divots on each of them, and I'm gonna come through here and I'm gonna color my clear right on those divots. And what the color lifter is gonna do is it's gonna lift off some of that red, that cherry cobbler, to lighten it up. And you can see it already lightening. I'm gonna go over one more time. And this is, sometimes it, it gets a little lighter as you wait, but sometimes I like to go over it a second time because I really want it to be pronounced. And now I've made it look lighter in those areas that I colored. Pretty cool, right? And your pen is still clean, so it didn't actually pick up the cherry cobbler, but still is clean. For this last technique using the blender pens, I'm going to use the ivory. Again, I'm using my firm tip because, like I said, that's what I prefer. And I'm actually going to color my birds in. And I'm going to add color. And something that surprised me when I pulled out the ivory, it almost takes on like a yellow look to it, because I first was like, how is ivory going to show up on white? But it actually shows up quite nicely. And if you'll notice, I'm kind of using the stamps show you kind of where that coloring would be. See these brushes along here? This is where you want to accent. It's telling you exactly where to color. So you don't even need to know how to do the blending or how to do these pieces. A lot of times the stamps will show you right where you want to color. Okay, so I colored around the bird, and I'm just gonna bring it a little closer so you can see. I left the bellies a little white, but you can kind of see how definitive those lines are. You can see the lines from where I colored. This is where my Stampin' blend is gonna come in. I'm actually gonna run it right along the belly, right where I left it white, so where the ivory met the white, and I'm going to just blend over top of it. And I'm going to just pull that through, right through there. And as it lifts, it actually softens those lines so that it looks like it just blends right into the bird. And that might be a little hard to tell because it's a lighter color, but I really love how it just softens those lines and allows them to blend together naturally. So when you're all done and you've colored your 3 stems and all your berries and your birds, here you go. Let's see if I can get that close. There we go. You can see the different techniques. I did color the beaks and the branches with that same bronze. So if you're wondering what I did there, that's what that was. And then you die cut each of those out, and I layered them on the top of my card. And you can see here's a branch, and here's a branch, and here's a branch. I actually adhered them with glue dots to the back of the birds before dimensioning the whole piece to the card. And if you want to learn how to do these, this background with these pine, check out my other technique video. Until next time, happy holidays.